Hello, this is Zeke with Terrytown RV. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Alante 29S. Going to walk around and show you how everything works. Let's get started here on the right side. First door here, just going to be a little bit of storage space. Second door is going to be your generator. Your generator start-stop switch is on the inside, but there is also one located behind the green panel here. If your one inside were to stop working, just twist these knobs to the left. This door folds right down, and then the start-stop switch will be right up here. Hold stop for 5 seconds to prime, then hold that start button down until it starts running. And then to shut it back down again, hold stop until the engine completely cuts off. Then you can let go of that button. More storage space here. Generator exhaust sticking right there. This is your water heater. Before you run any water, you're gonna put your plug in right here. Goes on there. Tighten that down with a 1 1/16 socket wrench. Once that's on there nice and tight, then you're gonna go to your water bay, which is back here, and then you can run your water. Just always make sure you get that cap on first. Otherwise, when you hook your water up, all the water that goes to the water heater is just gonna pour out the side here. This is a gas or electric water heater, and both the switches to turn it on are going to be inside. Just make sure you don't turn it on until the water heater is full, and you'll know the water heater is full once water's coming out of the hot side of your sink. There's about an 8-gallon tank behind here that fills up with the water that comes through the hot line, fills the tank up. Once it reaches to the top, then it goes out to your sink. So before it's not full, it'll just be air coming out of your sink or nothing. But once that water's coming out of that hot side, that's how you know it's full. You're good to turn it on. Close that up. Down here are your holding tanks. So you got black on the left, gray on the right. Gray tank is the sinks and the shower water. Black tank is the toilet water. So I like to drain the black first. That way when you drain your gray out, it helps rinse your sewer hose out. And all you gotta do is just pull those valves towards you, and that'll open them up. Just make sure you got your sewer hose connected on there first. Always make sure that you don't have it open with the cap on, because then it builds up pressure. And if you take the cap off, it's all gonna shoot out at you. It's pretty gross. So always make sure that those valves are closed. Furnace exhaust is here. That does get hot, so don't cover that or touch it if you're running the furnace. Cause a fire hazard and could burn yourself too. Back of your fridge is here if you ever need to get to that. If you want to do maintenance yourself, twist these clips to the left, pull it up and out. Another storage bay right here. And now we'll go over all this fun stuff in the water bay. So this one's actually pretty simple, even though it could look a little bit confusing when you first take a look at it. But all you got to do, hook your hose into this connection here. If you're staying somewhere that has a spigot on the site, run your hose from the spigot, plug it in here, and you're going to turn to city water. So just look at the diagram, adjust the knobs to match this, turn your water on, and that's going to run water directly to the sinks inside at the end of the water heater. Basically every faucet or tap you have. Once you have water hooked up here, turn it on, you'll have water inside. If you're staying somewhere that does not have the spigot on the site, you're going to be filling up your fresh tank, which is power fill tank. So turn your knobs that way. You use the same connection. Make sure that your fresh tank drains are closed, which are those two blue ones on the left. They're in the closed position right now. But yeah, make sure those are closed. Turn the water on. That's going to start shooting water into your fresh tank. You can watch how full your fresh tank is from your tank level monitor inside. Once it's full, go ahead, shut that water off. Find your camping spot, and then you're going to turn your knobs to dry camp, that one, and then turn your water pump on, and it'll draw that water from that fresh tank and pump it to your sinks, showers, toilets, all that stuff. This is your little outside shower here, hot, cold. Curly hose for it is right down here. Just plugs directly into here. This black thing on the right side is your black tank flush. So since the black tank, has toilet paper and other things in it, they can get stuck in there. If you tighten this down, then you can shoot the water into your black tank. It's going to help rinse it out. If there's anything stuck in there, it'll help push it out. So you just attach your hose on here and turn the water on. It's pretty simple. It's got a little light there. This one on top is to turn the water pump on, but you can also turn the water pump on from the inside. And these two are your cable and satellite connections for if you're staying somewhere that offers that. Then I'll go over winterization towards the end. You have your low point drains right there, that red and the blue hose on the right side. Those are just the low points of your hot and cold water lines. So when you are dewinterizing, you're gonna run just fresh water through all of your taps and down all the drains until there's no pink left, and then you come out here and you'll open those two up and run it until there's no pink left coming out of the bottom here. See where those all drain out, but you're gonna want that to be completely clear. Once that is, then you're good to start using that water and drinking that water. Just want to make sure you get all that antifreeze flushed out first. That's about everything for in there. Fuel fills right there. Ladder on the back is 250 pound capacity. Nothing really back here. Got your outside kitchen area. So the mini fridge is not going to run while you're driving down the road, but once you're plugged in, it will. Temperature adjustable in the corner here. Sink, cupboards. Pretty simple. More storage here. Before your pickup, your tires and lug nuts will be checked so you'll be ready for the road. This is your outside entertainment. So the remotes will be inside, and then you just got a radio here for those speakers and for playing the audio from the TV. In here are going to be your house batteries, your hydraulic pump, and your propane fill. So house batteries are right here, just on a little pull-out drawer. These are charging whenever your unit's plugged in, and then right down here is the LP connection here for if you were, say, throwing a grill out here. This is your LP tank right here. It'll run gas to this. Pop that cap off, plug an LP hose in, flip the silver tab on the top towards yourself, and that would run a gas supply if you wanted to hook up a grill right here. This guy right over here is your hydraulic pump for your jacks. Nothing you got to do with that other than make sure that your fittings are tightened down on there every once in a while. If you see red fluid leaking out, that's how you know they're a little loose, because sometimes when you're going down the road it can shake those loose, but looks good right now. And then obviously we got the propane, so to open your propane up, twist this to the left. To close it, turn it to the right. Fill is behind here, and then the levels are right there. It's full right now. And then this last one, another storage bin, and then you have your Camco starter kit in here, which has sewer hose, toilet drop-ins, a fresh drinking hose, and some toilet paper. So just some stuff to get you started with. So everything out here except for this last little storage bay. We'll head on inside here. So normally when you walk in, power's going to be off. But if you want to turn those house batteries on, come here, hit main power, and that'll power everything up to the unit. Got a couple light switches here. If you want to turn the power step on, flip it down. Now when we close the door, the stairs are going to run up. But you know, when you're camping, you don't want those going up and down every time because it kind of gets annoying. So normally once you're parked, it'll just flip that power step up, and that way it doesn't go in and out every time. Interior lights, just more light switches, accent lights. Solar charge controller right here, regulating how much solar is taken in. That way, if the batteries are fully charged, it knows don't need to take in any more power. But as soon as that battery level gets low, it'll start charging them up again. Awning in and out is right here. So if you want to run it out, just hold out. Once the flap's facing straight down, that's how you know the awning is all the way out. So that's what it looks like all the way out. Probably gonna need a step ladder or something for pitching the awning. But all the way right there, you can see those two pinch tabs. You're gonna pinch them in, and then you can slide that awning bar down so that it would tip the awning this way so the water would run off the side. Because when you leave it just flat and straight like that, water can pool up on top. It'll stretch your canvas out a little bit. So it's always good to pitch the awning. Obviously, if it's windy, you don't want to run it in. Wouldn't want that to tear off the side of your unit. But let's say you're parked and you want to run your jacks down. You're going to come over here now. You're going to press power on. And then all you got to do is press auto level. And in about 5-ish minutes, the unit will be completely level. It's going to level us front to back and side to side, all by itself. Usually I'll throw some pads underneath the jacks, and especially if you're parked somewhere on like dirt or something, because those jacks will dig into the mud. But you can see it coming down right now. So it'll do its thing, 3 or 4 minutes. If you walk around inside, it does take a little longer because you're going to throw it off its weight calibration. So I usually like to stand outside, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to walk in and walk around. So while that keeps going, I'll come back here and we'll show you the main panel, which is right on the wall here. So the first thing is the tank levels I was talking about earlier. So we got the fresh tank. So this is what you're going to watch as you fill that up. These red lights come on as it fills. You have your black tank, gray tank. You don't have a gray 2, so just disregard that. They use the same panel for every unit. So some of them have 2 gray tanks, but yours doesn't. Battery level is full. It always reads full when the unit's plugged in, so if you want to know an accurate reading of your battery level, make sure you unplug your unit. Sorry about the shakiness. Those jacks are moving left to right now. And then this is your LP gas level, but you also have that little fuel gauge on that outside. You got tank heaters right here. Those are 12-volt pads on your holding tanks. Keep them from freezing when you're camping in cold temperature. You just flip that on. It'll warm the tanks up. Water pump switches here for drawing from the fresh tank to pump to the faucets. And then you have your gas and electric water heater switches here. Usually if you're plugged in, just use the electric one. 10 to 15 minutes after you flip this on, you'll have that hot water. For the gas one, you got to make sure your gas supply is open. And go ahead and flip that. It'll ignite itself. Same thing, 10, 15 minutes later, you're going to have hot water. Once you're done, though, turn it back off. No sense in wasting propane. 10 to 15 minutes before you think you're going to be needing hot water, like taking a shower or washing dishes, go ahead and flip it back on. Start-stop switch for your gen here. You can see we've ran it for you, 2.5 hours of runtime. We always do that so we can show you that it's working at least. And then slide 1 here, extend, retract. So once you get that main power on, you just hit extend and just hold it down, and the slide's going to run out. Sometimes you do need to have the parking brake set for the slides to move. I'm not sure if that's the case on this one. Doesn't look like it's set right now, but sometimes you do. So if it's ever not moving, it's probably because the parking brake isn't set. Yeah, just one big slide, so not a lot of buttons to find. Let's start off at the front now, though, that we got everything opened up. So once you got your main power on, the radio is going to be activated, so you just got to turn the volume up if you want to hear it. Otherwise, I just leave it all the way down. Or just click on one of these different sources if you just don't want the radio on at all. Air conditioning for if the engine's running. Otherwise, these aren't going to do anything. Just kind of like your regular Ford truck steering wheel here. Hazards, traction control off. Obviously, you've got the jack leveling here. If you're not happy with how the auto level does it, you can individually adjust everything. They're all labeled here. So if you're to hold the front up, that's going to raise the front down. So yeah, that's all pretty easy. Move your shades up and down. So if you wanted to get darker for nighttime, run the shade down. And then you've got the accent light, which are these ones right on the dash. That's pretty cool. And then the lights are the ones above your head if you need to read a map or something. Mirror adjustment, USB if you need to charge your phone. Mirror heat for heating the mirrors. They're fogged up. You have another gen start stop switch over here. Battery boost is going to connect your chassis and house batteries together in case the chassis was dead, so you can start the engine. And then you got your headlights over here. Yeah, well, that's pretty easy, just like a car, even though it's a lot bigger. You do have the little pull-out tray here if you need to like use a laptop or something. But we'll walk back here. You have pop-up outlets right there. Just be careful when you're dropping these back down. Sometimes they'll break if you slam them hard, so just kind of lower them softly and then click it back down. Light switch up there. So if you got video drawers, there's your remotes for the TVs and the radios. So they're all in there. Nothing in that one. Do have your bags of information in here. They'll have the owner's manuals as well as things about the appliances. Typically there's some warranty information tucked in there as well if you want to do some fun reading. Microwave's pretty self-explanatory. Type your time in, hit start. Burners, 3 burners. So up on this switch here is your panel lights, and down is the panel and the oven light. If you want to light the burners, push in, turn to the left, spark to the right. Same thing for each burner. Last one's the oven. That can take up to 5 minutes to light. It's got the longest gas line in the unit, so it takes a while for that gas to get pushed through. So you're just going to hold on the flame marker, and as you're holding, keep sparking until you see the pilot light come on the very bottom down there. Once that's lit, then you're good to open this up to whatever temperature you want it. Just keep in mind, it is just open flames, so the temperatures are not entirely accurate, so cooking on here can be a little bit of a challenge. Pantry. You got your fridge back here. This is going to be gas electric, so when you're going down the road, I normally am just going to leave my mode on auto, which is this one here with the A and the little plug underneath. That means it checks for electric current first. If it doesn't find one, it'll automatically switch over to gas. Since we're plugged in right now, it knows and it switches to electric. Now if I were to unplug the unit, it's going to switch over to gas. You do have to make sure that gas supply is open, and then it'll light the fridge, and that will keep it cold. If you want to adjust your temperature here, the more snowflakes you have, the colder it is. If you want to switch it to just being gas, press this until you see the little droplet. That's signifying it's on gas mode. If you want it to only run on electric, make sure it's just on the plug. But normally, I'm just going to leave it on auto, just in case we lose power. It'll switch over to gas. And those little snowflakes adjust the fridge and the freezer temp. Bathrooms in here. Toilet, pedal flush, stomp down on there. That'll flush your toilet. Make sure your shower doors get latched for travel. Don't want these glass doors to slide and shatter on you. You have your power control system right underneath the panel over here. It's just showing you what service we're at. So we got 30 amp, which is what this unit supply is. So you can down the amperage if you want to, but I just leave it at 30. And that's going to show you if everything's powered. So since we're plugged into 30, everything's powered. Down here is the switch for the inverter. The inverter converts battery power over from 110 to, from 12 volt to 110 volt. That way when you're driving down the road, your outlets will work in here, so you can plug things in and use them. And if you're camping off grid as well, it's going to help turn that power over so that you could plug things in and have them run in here. So that's what the inverter's for. Right over here is the thermostat. So you got cool, fan, off, and heat. So if you want to run the AC, click it all the way to cool. Set your temperature down low. And throw the fan on, and there it goes. If you want to do the fan right there, heat's all the way over here. You slide this all the way up. You can hear the furnace run. It's right underneath here. Furnace comes through the vents kind of located around on the sides like this one down here. And then AC runs through the ceiling vents that look like that. We'll go ahead and turn that off though. Furnace does run through a cool down cycle, so it won't shut off right away. About 5-ish minutes after you turn it off, it'll actually turn off. Carbon monoxide LP gas leak detectors down here. That does draw power from the batteries when you're not plugged in. So just keep in mind for winter storage, it's usually good to take your batteries out, put those on a tender, keep them from dying on you. We'll head to the bedroom now. So nothing really complicated back here. You do have a couple more pop-up outlets back here. Oh, is this one? This one's actually a wireless charger, so you can set your phone on top of there and charge. Got your reading lights, AC for back here. That thermostat is on the wall. Just keep in mind there's no heat option here because the furnace heats only run from that one, but it does still run heat back here, so don't worry. But yeah, cool. Set your temp, set your fan speed, just like the other one. Bed lifts up, so it doesn't look like there's any storage under there. Well, maybe a little bit back there. But you do have your breakers and fuses down here. And then this panel here, sorry, the gimbal's a little loose here. The panel here is going to be fuses. It's always good to have extra fuses on you just in case you don't want one to blow out on you and then not have a replacement for it. But that's what that is for. But all of that said, should be everything for the inside. And there is actually one other thing. To run this bed down, gotta unclip the seat buckle here, twist your key to the on position, and then hold down, and the bed's gonna drop down for you. So that's the bed in the down position, so that's pretty easy as well. Run it back up, same thing. So hold the up position, flip the key to off, and then clip that seat buckle back in so that the bed doesn't accidentally come down. All right, with everything said for the inside, let's go out and go over the winterization process here quickly. So we're gonna come back to the water bay. Pop this open. First thing to do is take your water filter out. So you have valves on this side and this side, so you shut those off, twist the water filter off there, take it out, and put that casing back on. Reason you take the water filter out is because the antifreeze will ruin it, so you always take that filter out before running antifreeze through the unit. Once that's done, come back out here, winterize. You're going to twist the knobs to that direction. This will automatically bypass the water heater when you have these knobs in this position, so you don't have to worry about going behind the water heater or anything and messing with valves back there. It'll already be bypassed once it's on winterized mode. So what twisting these knobs do is changing where that water pump's drawing from. So now instead of drawing from the fresh tank, it's going to draw directly from this end here. So you just hook a little hose up here. Usually I just cut off the end of it and then stick it straight into a jug of antifreeze. Turn your water pump on, and then it's going to pump straight from that jug and run that to your faucets. Just go to every faucet, open up the hot and the cold side, and run it until it's completely pink coming out of both. You want to make sure you get plenty of antifreeze down the drain as well. Do that at every faucet, including the toilet and the outside shower here. And always remember to do your outside kitchen sink. That one gets forgotten a lot, so always remember to do that. And then once you're done with doing all of that, come out here, open these low point drains up, and run it until it's completely pink coming out of there. Once it is, shut those off. That's how you know you got antifreeze throughout the entirety of the lines. And then you're going to shut your water pump off, disconnect your antifreeze and everything, and then make sure that you drain your fresh tank out by opening those two up. Make sure your gray and black tanks are empty as well. And then your winterizing is complete. So with all that said, that's everything for this video. If you have any further questions, write them down. Bring them with you to your pickup date. We'd love to get them answered for you. Sometimes with filming outside, the wind can kind of distort the mic, so sometimes some things don't come through. So again, if you have questions, please bring them with you. We want to get them answered for you. And we hope you have a happy camping experience. Thanks for watching.